Okay, thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for being patient with us. We've had some scheduling issues over the last little while with the time change, and it seems like I don't know the difference between Central Mountain Time and Central Daylight Time, so that also caused some issues. But we're here now, so that's great. And Dr. Ali will talk about ALRG and Plenty of Greens as our two featured products this coming month. So Dr. Ali, take it away.
Excellent. Well, if you'll see the agenda slide next, I'm going to be talking a little bit about introduction of what are allergies, give you some definitions. Then for most of us who have knowledge, just be cognizant that I won't get into any details from biochemistry, microbiology, physiology, but I always like to share a couple of slides so people can know the definitions of what I'm speaking about, in particular, antibodies and antigen, and then I'll go through some of the symptoms that when people have an allergic response, and then as Aurelius had mentioned, I will get into the two products. So let's start off saying about allergies. Well, this is everybody is exposed to certain things from the environment. And in particular, we call them allergens. And some may be normal, some may be abnormal for some. And I listed some of them: molds, dust, dander, or pollen. And when people have an allergy, is the improper activation of our immune system in response when we are exposed to something, the allergens, which is a foreign substance seen by the body triggers the inflammatory response. And I'll get into some of the signs and symptoms. On the next slide, you will see that there are many reasons people have allergies. It could be genetics, from mom or dad, family history. It could be from obesity. Obviously, people ask questions about pets. Some yes, some no. Some may be allergic to cats, some to certain things like dogs. Like there's exposure to their pet here that people have some allergy problems. Obviously, exposure to allergens, infections, and last but not least, parasites, tobacco, and pollutants. Next, you will see, when do allergies occur? In fact, it may be as early as February or even as late as November. So, but the predominant time for tree pollen, it's April and May. For grass, June and July. For ragweed, August to October. And just a tidbit here to know that 1 out of 4 Canadians suffer at some time seasonal allergies, or what we refer to as allergic rhinitis. And I will talk a little bit about these symptoms later on. So what happens when we have an allergy? Well, it begins harmlessly when we see a protein in our body and our antibodies who react to this protein. And in our bloodstream, we have antibodies, which are protein, looking for these microorganisms, I should say antigens, to get rid of them. So antibodies, and you'll see a picture that I have here, that it looks like a Y, that it binds these foreign molecules, we call the proteins, in our body. Then once the antibodies attach these antigens, then they take it to our immune system to alert them there's something foreign in the body. On the next slide, you'll see 5 examples: IgA, IgG, IgE, IgD, IgM. And you can get the overall picture, like it looks like a Y, where the antibodies will go and search in the bloodstream, look for these foreign antigens that we're exposed to. So what are the types of allergens? So antigens, as we know, cause an allergic reaction. It could be from food. And certain people have allergies, we find out, to even things like corn. Some people have allergies to strawberries. Absolutely, in schools, for those who have children, people have allergies to peanuts. Also, it could be animal hair proteins. It could also be from plant pollens. And also important, when you go to see a doctor, especially before surgery, they usually ask you, do you have any allergies to certain types of drugs? Because absolutely, one of the types of allergens, it could be from drugs like penicillin. Next, you will see the allergic response. So what is the allergic response? Well, this is one of the pictures I showed earlier when the IgE molecules find that foreign body in our bloodstream, the antigen. It tries to catch on and it fits into like an arm, and then it's carried to our immune cells. So what are the immune cells? We see things like mast cells and basophils. And just to go on a tangent, one of the things that I have, because we are licensed in Ontario as naturopaths, one of the things that we can check is our levels of white blood cells, be it the basophils, eosinophils, etc. Then we know there's something wrong. When you go to a doctor with a cold, these always showed up. So the immune system is triggered by the immune cells, and it tells us, hey, there's an infection. Also, the IgE binding to these cells triggers the release of what we call cellular messenger molecules. And that is when you see the triggering of inflammation. And it could be allergic mediators that include histamines, leukotrienes, tryptase, chemokines, cytokines, and prostaglandins. These are all the things that we could actually physically measure, and we can see what is going on. Hence, we call it inflammation. On the next slide, what are the symptoms of an allergic reaction? Okay, let's start off with if you have symptoms that an allergic reaction being inhaled or skin allergen, you can have itchy, watery eyes. Some people sneeze, runny noses, even rashes on the skin. They feel exhausted, tired, don't feel well, and hives. If there's a food allergy, what are the symptoms? Absolutely vomiting and diarrhea and stomach cramping. If it's an insect, as most of us who was ever stung by a bee, we know there's pain. Pain immediately, but there's also redness and swelling. These are all the symptoms that our innate intelligence of our body sends these things to ward off this response by the allergic cascade. So these are the symptoms that people will probably come up with. And the treatments are absolutely, there are drugs who do block allergic symptoms, but if you do take antihistamine, it has sedative effects. It can cause drowsiness and the risk of even more accidents and allergies occurring like over and over again. However, with our product ALRG Plus, it works with the defense mechanisms of the body. Hence, it relieves the symptoms without the side effects as we would find in over-the-counter drugs. So let's get into what is ALRG Plus. Well, number one, it works as an antihistamine, but it's natural, as opposed to even like garlic is a natural antibiotic, and it gets rid of any bacteria that may cause the mucous membrane to become inflamed or infected. ALRG Plus also strengthens the immune system. So if you have a strengthened immune system, it does prevent things from overreacting to allergens. There are a lot of ingredients in ALRG Plus, and I will be brief because it's almost 5:15 and highlight on some of the top things of all these natural ingredients. Let's start off with fenugreek. Fenugreek is used for any type of inflammation, muscle pain, swelling of the lymph nodes, and this is where we would check, myself, in the neck, underneath the axilla, in the arms, in the groin area. This is where we find lymph nodes that are inflamed. There's usually used fenugreek for mouth ulcers, boils, bronchitis, even TB, and chronic cough. Next is marshmallow root. Great demulsifier, what we call a demulsifant. Lines and coats and have great effect on the mucous membranes by decreasing the pain and swelling. Marshmallow is also used for a lot of gastrointestinal complaints, be it diarrhea or constipation, sometimes seen when we have allergy symptoms. The overall effect of this is that it decreases the cough, heals the wound by decreasing the inflammation and fighting off those microbes, the allergen. Next, stinging nettle. It's used a lot in any type of formulations for allergies. It's also used as a diuretic and as an astringent. It is also used in allergies and hay fever specifically by decreasing inflammation. Burdock, I spoke a lot about this, especially with liver cleanse. It's great to reduce fever and also purify the blood. Very important for liver toxicity. Also been used for colds and joint pain. How it works is it's an activity, it's against bacteria, and also great for any type of inflammation in the body. Next, you will see the next ingredients for our ALRG Plus. Rose hips, flavonoids, and beta-carotene. In general, these are great antioxidants. They get rid of any type of free radicals. Also, they have high amounts of vitamin C, absolutely boosting immunity for colds, and a great source of vitamin A. In fact, rose hips is being used sometimes in natural medicine as an alternative to NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, because it's great for fighting inflammation. Bioflavonoids, and we don't always eat as much fruits and vegetables, but bioflavonoids enhance actually the action of vitamin C, very good for allergies and viruses. Then we have cayenne. Cayenne, as you all know, very good. If you take this, you know, it just triggers that hot heat sensation we get in our mouth, in our throat, even our GI system. It's great for any type of sinus congestion and allergies. Why? It's high in beta-carotene, a great antioxidant. Also, it helps the mucous membranes develop properly to protect against pathogens. And we also have rosemary. Great for coughs, for headaches, as well as muscular pain. Why? Because rosemary is used a lot for increasing blood circulation. So any congestion, rosemary is great to get the blood circulated. Then we have parsley. Parsley, as we all know, great diuretic and also known as having antispasmodic episodes effect. So especially with asthmatic patients and people that cough, parsley is excellent. Eyebright, excellent ingredient for any type of swollen, inflamed areas of the nasal passages, especially with, as I mentioned earlier, some of the symptoms that affect our face, eyes, nose. Also, eyebright is great for allergies, hay fever, common cold, and bronchial conditions, as well as sinusitis and any type of inflammation and sore throat. How it works is it's astringent and kills bacteria in the body. Golden seal, excellent product that even for colds, you'll see this used quite a lot. Just to digress, you'll always see combination even with golden seal and echinacea and vitamin C. For this reason, we use it for bacterial infection, sinus infection, as well as boosting the immune system. Why? Because golden seal has many properties. It's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and a great antioxidant. And we also have horseradish. This is an ingredient added for allergies, infections like viral, asthmatic, strengthens the immune system, and also increases the white blood cell production. It's great as an anti-inflammatory. This is also a great antioxidant, antimicrobial, and antibacterial. Excellent for any type of allergy. So in summary, one of the benefits from all these ingredients synergistically working together, it's a natural antihistamine, working like an antibiotic to relieve things like runny nose, watering eyes, and sneezing. It also strengthens the immune system. It also, one great benefit, it can work great on any type of treating the allergic reaction, but it has no side effects and causes no drowsiness the next day. The recommended dosage is 1 to 2 capsules 3 times a day. I always like to add some complementary products if people are going to recommend. Things like probiotics, great for digestion on its own. Fenugreek, I mentioned one of the ingredients. MSM is great for inflammation. Vitamin D, a great immune boost, especially over the winter season. Now, we see a lot of research on the super omega-3, lots of research on very many different organs for omega-3. And let me get into even, you can take plenty of greens synergistically. So let's get into plenty of greens. This is a product with many different ingredients. You'll see the first slide with a lot of ingredients. And on the next slide, you'll see all these different types of antioxidants as well as the berries. So let me just highlight very quickly some of the great things that why Sangster's Plenty of Greens. Number one, people don't eat 15 to 18 fruits and vegetables a day. So what better way to get everything in a scoop with green leafy vegetables, herbs, as well as fruit, because they're excellent as a plant protein. And spirulina, one of the top ingredients you'll find in any green product, because it's protein rich, and it's one of the plants that we would say in the world that is a complete protein, given all the things that we need to build muscle and to find out that when people have stress, people break down protein, so this is excellent. It's high in also many other vitamins, antioxidants. It's rich in, the Plenty of Greens is rich in bioavailable vitamins that is readily available. 1 scoop, 8-ounce glass of water. Now, stress, you got to mix it with fluid. It's got minerals, amino acids, EFAs, RNA, DNA. These are great for building up good cell membranes, polysaccharides, energy, and a vast spectrum of antioxidants, which is great combined together as a detoxifier. So most of the people who do take Plenty of Greens, they find they get more energy because you're detoxifying, and they have more regular bowel movement. The antioxidants help to reduce inflammation, which we want to get rid of when people have allergic reaction, and this is why we added pomegranate, elderberry, blueberry, green tea, grapeseed, carrot, and tomato juice. Moving on to the next ingredients list, we have barley, wheat, and kamut grass. They're an excellent source of vitamins A, C, and E, iron, calcium, magnesium, as well as amino acids. And you'll find that antioxidants and the anti-inflammatory actions get rid of the swelling when people present symptoms of allergic reaction. Very good also for bacterial infection. Next slide, you will see an array of many herbs I spoke about earlier, but just in summary, milk thistle is excellent to detoxify the liver. Ginseng, when people are tired, one of the symptoms of people with allergies, low immune system, low energy, ginseng is great to boost the immune system and endurance. Astragalus, which is not well known by lots of people, which is a wonderful herb from China. It's a Chinese herb in lots of combinations, allergies, immune complications. Even your immune system is compromised, good for colds, good for allergies. And for circulation, what better herb to add? Ginkgo biloba helps with blood flow, especially for the joints. When you look at people in the joint extremities, I should say, the joints in the legs, the joints in the arms, but more specifically, it's very good for any type of things from the neck up, any things like I had mentioned before, congestion. Next, you will see spinach and broccoli. I don't know if many people who do have this 3 to 4 times a week, but if they don't, what better way to add Plenty of Greens? Why? Vitamin K, C, E, all the B vitamins, and trace minerals and minerals like iron, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, very good for as muscle relaxants. And they are known as what we call the phytonutrients. Inside we find beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, great for the immune system as well as overall eye health. Next slide, you'll see what are the benefits in summary for Plenty of Greens. Number one, it increases energy and immune function. As I said before, because it's a great detoxifier and cleanser from the stomach, liver, kidneys, lungs, and skin. Besides that, people help that they have regular bowel movements. People find they lose weight. So it's an added benefit that can aid in weight loss. But nothing replaces eating well and exercising for weight loss. Number three, it reduces inflammation and pain caused by the acidity. And as our diet increases with more processed foods, fried foods, excess bacon, and these meats, pork derived, even fat on certain things like steak, we find the body gets more acidic. So Plenty of Greens tend to keep the body more alkaline. And also it's a great flavor. So these are the things that we all added to the benefits. And also we're taking Plenty of Greens. Anybody that comes in with any type of allergies, but for me personally, I would say people could use it on an everyday basis. It's a great addition to overall health and wellness. Other herbs you can add, I should say other things, absolutely mega digestive enzymes, organic chem, and as well as alfalfa, because these are great for helping for detoxification. Okay, so it's 5:23 now. So Aurelius, we could open up the phone, and anybody who has questions, comments, most welcome to ask.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. I've opened up all the phone lines. Everybody's unmuted. So if there's any questions for Dr. Ali, now would be a good time.
If there's no questions, absolutely, I do thank those for attending and taking time. For Aurelius, for those who weren't able to attend, and I know there's a lot of staff that may be busy, please make sure we send a recording so everybody at your own leisure can take the time to listen at their convenience. Also, Aurelius, I'd like to add that when we look at people, one of the questions that have been asked in previous webinars, can we do certain prescription drugs with our products? Absolutely. The dosages are so minuscule that I find that people who are taking our supplements, they have never been reported any contraindication, any side effects, any ill health results that I got from either a phone call, I got by email, and thank you all for responding with your questions. So that's one of the things I want to mention, that people, the dosages are quite low, especially with the vitamins, minerals. Absolutely. We didn't talk a lot about different vitamins, but when we talk about people with allergies, vitamin C, as we all know, the government says, we only need 60 milligrams. But we are all educated in the Sangster store that we know that certain people, minimum, we need at least 2 grams a day with all the stresses, all the toxins, all the environmental pollutants that causes allergen. And just to digress, smoking 1 cigarette a day not only takes away 5 minutes of your life, but it contains over 4,000 chemicals that vitamin C is depleted. So if you are a smoker or people who have allergies, you can educate them. You could take more vitamin C. You can take the Plenty of Greens. You could take the ALRG Plus. You could use this all in combination to help benefit to detoxify.
I can't remember a time when smoking.
Okay, Aurelius, if there's no questions, I'll just wait if people email me. Thank you.
Perfect. I will